My name is Isabel Carter. I'm 32 years old. It happened right at the dinner table. My mother looked me straight in the eyes, put down her fork, and said, without blinking, "Your brother is moving in with his 2 kids tomorrow. Pack your shit and get the hell out of this house, you worthless parasite. You've done nothing but drain this family for years." I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I didn't explain a single word. I stood up, walked upstairs, threw my life into one suitcase, and left that same night. What they didn't know was that I had been paying the entire mortgage on that house for 8 years, $3,200 every single month. And at 5 a.m. the next morning, when my father called me in total panic, the first words out of his mouth were the beginning of their entire world collapsing. Before I take you back to that night, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe. Drop a comment below. Where are you watching from, and what time is it there right now? Let me back up. March 15th, 2026. 6:45 p.m. I was driving back from Seattle. 2.5 hours down I-5. I'd been doing this drive every weekend for 3 years. Monday through Thursday in Seattle for work. Friday through Sunday in Portland. That house in Portland. The one my parents lived in. The one I supposedly just helped with. I pulled into the driveway at 7:10 p.m. Chris's car was already there. Packed. Boxes in the back seat. I could see them through the window. I walked inside. The kitchen smelled like pot roast. My mother's specialty. Sunday comfort food on a Friday night. That should have been my first warning. Everyone was already at the table. My father, Ken. My mother, Beverly. My brother, Chris. And Chris's 2 kids. Lily, 6 years old, coloring instead of eating. Noah, 4, slumped in his booster seat, half asleep. "Oh good. You're finally here," my mother said. Not warmly. "Sit down, we're already eating." "Sorry. Traffic was bad on I-5. I sat. Beverly didn't pass me anything, just kept eating. 30 seconds of silence. Fork sounds. Lily's crayon scratching paper. Then Beverly put her fork down. "We need to talk about living arrangements." I looked up. Chris is moving back in with the kids. Permanently. Vanessa won't take them, and he needs family support. I blinked. "Wait, what? When did this—" "Tomorrow. He's moving in tomorrow." Chris leaned back in his chair. Smug. Like this was already decided and I was just being informed. "Okay," I said slowly. "So, where do I stay? My room is barely big enough for—" Beverly interrupted me. "Your brother is moving in with his 2 kids tomorrow. Pack your shit and get the hell out of this house, you worthless parasite. You've done nothing but drain this family for years." Complete silence. Lily's crayon stopped. Noah woke up. My father stared at his plate. Chris smiled. I looked at my mother. She looked back. No emotion. Just finality. 5 seconds passed. Lily whispered, "Mommy said that's a bad word." Beverly ignored her. "Well," Beverly said to me, "say something." I didn't. I stood up. My chair scraped back. "Isabel, come on," my father said quietly. "Let's talk about this." I walked past him. "Where are you going, Aunt Isabel?" Lily asked. I didn't answer. Chris called after me. "Finally. Maybe now you'll get your own life." I kept walking. Up the stairs. To my room. The smallest room in the house. 10 feet by 12 feet. I'd slept there for 8 years. Behind me, I heard Beverly's voice. Loud. Meant for me to hear. "This is my house. You don't get to be dramatic." I closed the door. "I want you to understand something." I wasn't surprised. Not really. I'd heard my mother on the phone 2 weeks earlier. March 1st. I was in the hallway. She was in the living room. "We might need to ask Isabel to leave soon. Chris needs more space for the kids." I'd stood there. frozen, listened. She won't mind. She's practical. She'll understand. That's when I started researching tenant rights, landlord rights, Oregon eviction law. And then I found something else. Something I already knew, but needed to confirm. The property deed, recorded April 23, 2018. Multnomah County. Owner, Isabel M. Carter. Not Ken Carter. Not Beverly Carter. Me. Let me take you back to April 2018. I was 24 years old. I'd graduated 3 years earlier with a degree in computer science. I'd been working at Velocity Pay, a fintech startup in Seattle, for 2 years, making $95,000 a year. Good money. Especially for someone 3 years out of school. I'd saved aggressively, lived with roommates, drove a used Honda, ate ramen more nights than I'd like to admit. By April 2018, I had $27,000 in savings. My parents were renting. They'd been renting the same house in Portland for 6 years. $2,400 a month. The landlord wanted to sell. Told them they had to move by June. They were panicking. Ken was 55. Beverly was 50. They had maybe $15,000 in savings total. No way they could buy. Credit wasn't great. They'd filed bankruptcy in 2012 after Ken's contracting business struggled during the recession. I flew down from Seattle, met with a real estate attorney, Amanda Fletcher, small firm, Southeast Portland. You're 24 and you're buying a $520,000 house for your parents to live in? I'm buying a house. They'll live there, but it's mine. Amanda looked at me over her glasses. And they don't know? They don't need to know. I'll just tell them I'm helping with the mortgage. Isabel, this is generous to a fault. If they ever find out you own it, then they'll know who really saved them. But that's my choice to make, not theirs. She nodded slowly. FHA loan? 3.5% down. You have 18,000? I have 27. I'll use 18 for the down payment, 9 for emergencies. Amanda drafted everything. We closed April 23, 2018. Purchase price, $520,000. Down payment, $18,200. Mortgage, $3,200 a month including property tax and insurance. I told my parents the landlord agreed to sell to them, that I'd help cover the mortgage since they were approved, but it was tight. They believed me. What they didn't know was that I had spent the previous 2 weeks meeting with Amanda Fletcher, a no-nonsense real estate attorney in Southeast Portland. She had explained Oregon property law to me in plain English. Once the deed was in my name, it was mine. Period. My parents would be month-to-month tenants by default, with no automatic rights of ownership. Amanda warned me twice that hiding the truth could backfire emotionally, but she also respected my decision. This isn't fraud, she said. It's your money, your credit, your risk. I signed every document myself. The FHA loan required only 3.5% down because my credit score was 812 and my debt-to-income ratio was pristine. The lender never even asked about co-borrowers. On closing day, April 23, 2018, I wired the $18,200 down payment from my own savings account. The title company handed me the keys and the recorded deed. I drove straight to a small safe I had bought at Home Depot and locked the papers inside my bedroom closet. From that day forward, every mortgage statement, every property tax bill, and every insurance renewal came to a P.O. box I rented under my name only. I set up autopay from my Velocity Pay direct deposit. No one in my family ever saw a single bill. Beverly hugged me. You're such a good daughter. We're so lucky. The deed went into a folder. The folder went into a small safe in my bedroom. The mortgage payments came directly from my bank account. Autopay. Set it and forget it. $3,200 every month. For 8 years. I never missed a payment. That first year, I lived in Seattle during the week, rented a small studio for $1,800 a month. Came back to Portland on weekends to visit family. They thought I was being a good daughter, staying close. I was, but I was also making sure the house I owned was being taken care of. Every month, I sent an additional $1,500. Family support, I called it. Groceries, utilities, gas, whatever they needed. Beverly would text me. "Thank you so much for helping with the mortgage, hun. We're so blessed to have you." I saved every text, 47 of them, over 8 years. In 2020, Chris came to me. He was 32, divorced for the second time, struggling. "Izzy, I need your help. Northeastern's executive MBA program accepted me. It's $85,000 for the full program. I know it's a lot, but this will change everything. I'll pay you back within 2 years, I promise." I heard Beverly in the background. "Isabel, your brother needs this. Family helps family." I transferred the money. July 14th, 2020. Wire transfer. $85,000. My entire emergency fund. Gone. Chris graduated May 2021. Posted on Facebook. MBA achieved. #new beginnings. 143 likes. Never mentioned my name. Never paid me back. Not a dollar. Then COVID hit. March 2020. Velocity Pay went fully remote. I didn't renew my Seattle lease. Moved back to Portland full-time. Saved $1,800 a month in rent. I worked from my childhood bedroom. 10 by 12 feet. Hand-me-down furniture. A twin bed. A desk from IKEA I'd bought myself. Chris's old bedroom? That was the guest room now. New furniture. Queen bed. Nightstands. Beverly picked out at HomeGoods. I worked 50-hour weeks from that small room. Zoom meetings, code reviews, product launches. Beverly would knock during meetings. "Can you help with groceries?" I'd mute, nod, unmute. In 2021, the roof needed replacing. $9,200. I paid it. In 2023, the HVAC died. $6,800. I paid it. Property taxes every November. $8,200 a year. I paid those too. Meanwhile, my own life looked very different from the outside. In Seattle, I was living in a one-bedroom apartment that cost $2,800 a month just so I could be close to the office 3 days a week. I ate the same meal prep chicken and rice 5 nights a week because every extra dollar went south to Portland. I hadn't taken a real vacation in 6 years. When friends asked why I drove 348 miles every weekend, I smiled and said, "Family." They never knew I was choosing between new tires for my car and another roof repair. I never told anyone at work that I was secretly the landlord for my own parents. The only person who knew the full truth was Rachel, my best friend and co-founder. And even she only found out 2 years ago when I needed someone to co-sign a business loan for Cascade Analytics. She cried when I showed her the spreadsheet. I didn't. I had stopped crying about it a long time ago. I set up mail forwarding. Property tax bills went to a P.O. box I rented. Then to my email. My parents never saw them. They thought they were building equity in their house. They weren't. I was. In January 2023, Velocity Pay shifted to hybrid. 3 days in the office. I needed to be in Seattle. I rented an apartment, 1 bedroom, waterfront, $2,800 a month. Views of Elliott Bay. I told my parents. Work is going hybrid. I'll be in Seattle Monday through Thursday. Beverly frowned. So you're leaving again? I'll be back Friday through Sunday. I'll keep helping with the mortgage. I guess we can manage without you during the week. I split my time. Seattle Monday through Thursday. Portland Friday through Sunday. 348 miles a week. Round trip. They never asked about my Seattle apartment. Never asked about my life there. Never asked if I was okay. They just asked when the next mortgage payment was coming. I need to tell you about Chris. Christopher James Carter. 36 years old. My older brother. Married 3 times. Divorced 3 times. 2015. 2019. 2022. 2 kids from marriage number 3. Lily. Noah. The court gave him split custody. Weekends and alternating holidays. His ex-wife, Vanessa, had remarried. Set firm boundaries. Chris couldn't live with her. Couldn't crash on her couch. Couldn't use her as a backup plan. So he came home. October 2022. Just until I get back on my feet. 6 months, tops. 3 years later. Still there. In those 3 years, Chris started 4 businesses. A coffee shop in 2017 that closed in 11 months. A consulting firm in 2019 that never got a client. A dropshipping store in 2021 that folded in 8 months. Crypto trading in 2023 that wiped out what little savings he had left. MBA from Northeastern. $85,000 worth of education. 0 income. His LinkedIn said, entrepreneur, investor, MBA. 0 posts about actual work. His Indeed search history on the shared family computer. 0 results. He never looked for a job. He lived in the house I owned, ate food I helped pay for, used electricity I covered. And my mother called me the Parasite. So that night, March 15th, 7:45 p.m., I was upstairs in my room. I opened my laptop. There was a folder on my desktop. 2,851 Oakwood, legal docs. Inside, the property deed. The closing documents. 8 years of mortgage statements. 8 years of payment receipts. Property tax records. Home repair invoices. All of it. Organized. Dated, saved. I opened another folder. Screenshots. Every thank you text from Beverly. 47 total. Thank you for helping with the mortgage. You're such a blessing. We're so lucky to have you. I read them. One by one. 8 years. $554,700. Total. Mortgage payments. $307,200. Monthly support. $144,000. Chris's MBA. $85,000. Home repairs. $18,500. And she called me a parasite. I closed the laptop. I pulled out my carry-on suitcase, the same one I used for Seattle trips. I packed. Laptop. Chargers. The folder with the deed and mortgage documents. 3 outfits. Toiletries. 1 photo album from childhood. Everything else stayed. The stuffed animals on my bed. The textbooks on my shelf. 80% of my clothes in the closet. I didn't need them. I looked at the room. 10 by 12 feet. The smallest room in a house I owned. I felt nothing. No, that's not true. I felt relief. I walked downstairs at 9:05 p.m. Chris was in my room already, tape measure in hand. Lily was helping him, holding one end. Hey, Izzy, you still using that desk? Because if you're taking it, I need to know for measurements. I didn't answer. Oh, you're actually leaving tonight? He laughed. Wow, so dramatic. I walked past him. Living room, Beverly and Ken on the couch, watching TV, Property Brothers, some couple arguing about granite countertops. Ken glanced at me, looked away. Beverly didn't look up. I walked to the front door, put my hand on the knob. Don't forget to leave your house key on the kitchen counter. Beverly's voice, from the living room. Not even turning around. I opened the door. Isabel, did you hear me? Leave the key. I walked out, closed the door behind me. Beverly's voice muffled through the window. Finally, now we can have some normalcy around here. No more walking on eggshells. I loaded my suitcase into my car. 2019 Honda Accord. Paid off. Practical. I sat in the driver's seat. I looked at the house. The porch light was on. The same light I'd paid $850 to replace 2 years ago when it broke. I pulled out my phone, took a photo of the house, saved it, titled it 2851 Oakwood Drive, property I own. I put the car in drive. 9:23 p.m. I never looked in the rearview mirror. The drive north on I-5 was the first time in 8 years I didn't check my phone every 10 minutes for a "thanks for the mortgage, hun" text. I rolled the windows down even though it was only 42 degrees outside. Cold Oregon rain misted my face. For the first time, the highway felt like it was leading somewhere instead of always pulling me back. I stopped in Centralia not because I needed gas, but because I wanted to sit in the brightly lit parking lot and feel like a person again. I bought a terrible gas station coffee and drank it black. When my phone finally buzzed with the first missed call from my father at 5:02 a.m., I smiled. Not with cruelty, but with the quiet satisfaction of someone who had finally closed a book she never wanted to read again. I put the phone on Do Not Disturb and kept driving toward the lights of Seattle. I-5 North. Portland to Seattle. 174 miles. I drove in complete silence. No music, no podcasts. Just the hum of the engine and the sound of tires on asphalt. I stopped for gas in Centralia, Washington. 11:05 p.m., $52 to fill the tank. My phone was in the cup holder. It buzzed. 3 times, 5 times, 7 times. I didn't look. I got back in the car, kept driving. I arrived at my apartment at 11:52 p.m. 1501 Western Avenue. Unit 804, 1 bedroom, waterfront, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Elliott Bay. I unlocked the door, dropped my suitcase, walked to the window. The Seattle skyline was lit up. Ferries crossing the Sound. The Space Needle in the distance. Car lights on the viaduct. For the first time in 8 years, I didn't have to think about Portland. Didn't have to calculate the mortgage payment. Didn't have to wonder if my parents needed anything. I could just breathe. I pulled out my phone, texted Rachel, my best friend, my coworker at Velocity Pay. I'm out, finally. 3 dots appeared immediately. What happened? Are you okay? I'm okay. I'll tell you tomorrow. I'm home. Home? Seattle? Yes. For good this time. Good. Coffee tomorrow, 9 a.m. I'm buying. I smiled. First time all day. I unpacked my laptop. Set it on my desk. Beside it was work I'd left there. Cascade Analytics, my startup. The one I'd co-founded 2 years ago with 2 partners. AI platform, machine learning, stealth mode. Nobody knew about it. Not my parents. Not Chris. We had a pitch deck ready. Series A round. $12 million valuation. Investor meeting scheduled for March 23rd. 8 days away. My equity, 40%. On paper, I was worth $4.8 million. My mother called me worthless. I set my phone to Do Not Disturb. Only Rachel could get through. I showered. Got into bed. My bed. Queen size. Organic cotton sheets I'd bought myself. Weighted blanket. No sounds from family downstairs. No wondering if anyone needed anything. Just silence. I fell asleep at 1:03 a.m. The deepest sleep I'd had in months. At 4:58 a.m. my phone screen lit up silently. 23 missed calls. I didn't wake up. Ken woke up at 4:30 a.m. He always did. Early riser, contractor habits from 40 years in the business. He made coffee, sat down at his desk, old Dell computer, slow boot. Then it hit him. The mortgage. Isabel always handled the mortgage. Isabel was gone. Did that mean? He tried to log into the mortgage account. Searched his saved passwords. Nothing. Searched his email for mortgage statement. One result. From 2018. Nothing since. He felt the panic start. Small at first, then growing. Then, he Googled how to check mortgage account balance without login. The first result, county property records. He clicked Multnomah County Property Information, Public Records. He typed the address, 2851 Oakwood Drive, Portland, Oregon 97202. Hit search. The page loaded. Owner of record, Isabel M. Carter. Purchase date, April 23, 2018. Purchase price, $520,000. Current assessed value, $680,000. Deed recorded, Multnomah County. Book 2018. Page 4472. Ken stared at the screen. Read it again. Again. His hand on the mouse. Frozen. His coffee. Getting cold. Forgotten. He whispered. She bought it. She bought the house. She was 24. How? He scrolled down. Property tax payment history. Every year. Paid in full. Paid by Isabel M. Carter. All of it. Every payment. Her. Ken sat back in his chair. 5:15 a.m. He walked to the bedroom. Shook Beverly awake. Bev. Wake up. We have a problem. Beverly opened her eyes. Groggy. Annoyed. What? What time is it? It's Isabel. The house. You need to see this. Ken, it's 5 in the morning. What are you? The house is in Isabel's name. She owns it. She's owned it since 2018. Beverly sat up, grabbed her bathrobe, followed Ken to his office. The computer screen was still showing the county records. Beverly put on her reading glasses, leaned in close. Read. Read. Read again. Her face went white. This is identity theft. This has to be identity theft. We'll call the county office when it opens. Bev, Ken said quietly. Look at the down payment. $18,000. FHA loan. Isabel's signature. Beverly grabbed the mouse, clicked print. The printer jammed. Ken unjammed it. Pages printed. Beverly snatched them. Read the property tax history. All payments. Isabel M. Carter. Going back to 2018. Beverly sat down hard in Ken's office chair. Chris walked in rubbing his eyes. What the hell is going on? Ken slid the printout across the table without a word. Chris read it, then read it again. His face went from confusion to disbelief, to something close to panic. She owns the house? The whole damn house? Beverly's voice cracked. This can't be legal. She was 24. She must have forged something. Ken shook his head slowly. Bev. Her name is on every single document, every payment, every tax bill. The three of them sat in silence for almost a minute, the longest silence that kitchen had seen in years. Lily's small voice came from the hallway again. Is Aunt Isabel in trouble? No one answered her. 5:30 a.m. Footsteps in the hallway. Chris appeared, yawning, boxer shorts and a t-shirt. What's going on? It's 5:30 in the morning. Chris, Ken said. His voice was strange, tight. There's been a development. Is Isabel being dramatic and calling you guys? No, it's worse. Isabel owns this house. Chris laughed. What? No, she doesn't. That's ridiculous. She's just helping with... Ken handed him the printout. Chris read it. His smile faded. Wait. She bought this in 2018? With what money? Ken didn't answer. Chris's voice changed, got quieter. If she owns the house, can she kick us out? Silence. In the hallway, Lily appeared, 6 years old, rubbing her eyes. Daddy, why is everyone yelling? Go back to bed, honey. Grown-up stuff. But Lily didn't move. She'd heard the fear in her father's voice. 5:45 a.m. Ken called Isabel, straight to voicemail. Isabel, it's Dad. Call me back immediately. There's an issue with the property records. I don't understand what's happening. Call me. He hung up. Waited 30 seconds. Called again. Voicemail. Isabel, this is serious. Call us back, please. Beverly grabbed her phone, texted Isabel. We need to talk about the house situation. Call us ASAP. The message showed, delivered. Not read. 6 a.m. Chris tried calling. Voicemail. Beverly tried. Voicemail. Ken tried again. Voicemail. They didn't know Isabel's phone was on Do Not Disturb. They didn't know she was sleeping peacefully in Seattle, 2.5 hours away. They called 23 times in 2 hours. Isabel never heard a single ring. In Seattle, Isabel woke up at 6:30 a.m. natural. No alarm. The first time in months. She got dressed. Running shoes, leggings, light jacket. Left her phone on the nightstand. Still on Do Not Disturb. Ran her usual route. Seattle waterfront. Alki Beach. 5 miles. The sun was rising over Puget Sound. Other runners? Cyclists. A normal Saturday morning. She finished her run at 7:45 a.m., sat on a bench overlooking the water, caught her breath. She pulled out her phone to change her music. The screen lit up. 37 missed calls. She scrolled through the call log. Ken, Beverly, Chris, Ken, Beverly, Chris, over and over. She unlocked her phone. 18 text messages. Ken, 5:52 a.m. Isabel, we found property records showing your name. Please call us. This needs to be straightened out. Beverly, 6:15 a.m. Honey, there's been a mistake with the county records. Your name is showing as owner. We need to fix this ASAP. Call us. Chris, 6:48 a.m. Izzy, Mom and Dad are freaking out. Call them. Isabel read them all. Sat on the bench. Looked at the water. Typed 3 words. Sent them to the family group chat. Check the deed. 7:18 a.m. The message showed, delivered. Then, read. 3 dots appeared. Someone was typing. The dots disappeared. Appeared again. Disappeared. No response came. Isabel put her phone back on Do Not Disturb. Finished her run. In Portland, the family stared at their phones. 3 words. That's all she said. Beverly started crying. Ken went to the filing cabinet. 3rd drawer. Manila folder labeled House Important. Inside, old closing documents from 2018. He pulled them out, spread them on the kitchen table. Purchase agreement. Signed, Isabel M. Carter. Loan application. Borrower, Isabel M. Carter. Final settlement statement. Buyer, Isabel M. Carter. Down payment, $18,200. Cashier's check, Isabel M. Carter. Closing date, April 23, 2018. Beverly stood over his shoulder, reading. She was 24 years old. Beverly whispered. How did she get $18,000? Ken didn't answer. He opened his laptop, logged into his bank account, searched for deposits, filtered by Isabel. Results loaded. Monthly deposit, $1,500 from Isabel M. Carter. Every month. For 8 years. He changed the search, looked for the mortgage payments. Every single one. ACH transfer from Isabel M. Carter to a Mary Home Mortgage. $3,200. Every month. Never late. Not once. He did the math. Grabbed a calculator. $3,200 times 96 months. $307,200. $1,500 times 96 months. $144,000. He looked for Chris's MBA payment. Wire transfer. July 14th, 2020. $85,000. To Northeastern University. From Isabel M. Carter. Student, Christopher J. Carter. Ken wrote the numbers down. $307,200, $144,000, $85,000. He added them. $536,200, $536,200. Over 8 years. Beverly was reading over his shoulder. She made a sound. Small. Choked. Ken kept searching. Home repairs. Roof replacement. 2021. $9,200. Paid by Isabel M. Carter. HVAC. 2023. $6,800. Paid by Isabel M. Carter. Property tax. Every November. $8,200. Paid by Isabel M. Carter. He opened Beverly's phone, went to her text messages with Isabel, scrolled back. Years back. Found them. The thank you texts. Thank you so much for helping with the mortgage, hun. You're such a blessing. We're so lucky to have you. 47 of them. 47 thank yous for over $500,000. Chris walked into the kitchen, saw the papers spread across the table, the numbers on the calculator. What's that? Ken turned the calculator around. $554,700. That's what Isabel paid, over 8 years. Chris went pale. Wait, he said. If she owns the house, she can evict us. Legally. No one answered. Because they all knew it was true. The calls started again at 6 a.m. By 2 p.m., they'd called 67 times, left 12 voicemails, sent 39 texts. Beverly, voicemail number 1, 6:15 a.m. Honey, there's been a mistake with the property records. Call me back so we can fix this. Ken, voicemail number 3, 7:22 a.m. Isabel, this is not funny. Call me back immediately. Beverly, text 8:30 a.m. Please, we need to talk about this. I'm sorry I was harsh last night. Chris, voicemail number 5, 9:45 a.m. Come on, Izzy, you're not really going to do this to Lily and Noah, are you? Beverly, voicemail number 8, 11:15 a.m. We're sorry, okay? Please call us back. We didn't know. We didn't understand. Ken, text 12:30 p.m. How much do you want? We can work something out. Beverly, voicemail number 12, 1:45 p.m. Isabel Marie Carter, I am your mother. You call me back right now. 7 minutes later. Beverly, voicemail number 13, 1:52 p.m. crying. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Please, please talk to us. Isabel listened to none of them. At 2:15 p.m. she responded. One text. To the family group chat. I'll send an email, read it carefully. My attorney will be CC'd. Then, silence. Isabel sat at her desk in Seattle, opened her laptop, drafted an email. From isabel.carter@velocitypay.com to ken.carter1965@gmail.com, beverly.carter63@gmail.com, cc amanda.fletcher@fletcherlawgroup.com. Subject: Property at 2851 Oakwood Drive. Terms going forward. She wrote for 20 minutes, read it twice, sent it at 3 p.m. Email text: Ken and Beverly. As you've now discovered, I am the sole owner of the property located at 2851 Oakwood Drive, Portland, Oregon, 97202. I purchased this home on April 23, 2018, and have maintained all mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, and major repairs since that date. I understand this comes as a surprise to you. It was not my intention to deceive, but rather to ensure you had stable housing without the burden of ownership during a difficult financial period in your lives. However, given recent events, I can no longer continue the current arrangement. You have 3 options. You must choose one within 7 days, by March 23, 2026, 3 p.m. Option 1. Rental agreement. You may remain in the home under a standard residential lease agreement with the following terms. Monthly rent, $1,500. This is 53% below current market rate of $3,200. Security deposit, $3,000. First month's rent due, April 1st, 2026. Lease term, 12 months. Renewable annually. Standard Oregon landlord each tenant responsibilities apply additional conditions. Christopher Carter must obtain employment within 60 days of this agreement. If Christopher resides elsewhere, he must contribute $500 per month to your household expenses. Rent must be paid by the 1st of each month. Late fee of $150 per day after the 5th. No additional occupants without written approval from me. I retain the right to sell the property with 90 days' notice. Option 2. Sale and transition. I will sell the property to a third party. You will need to vacate by May 1st, 2026. I will assist with moving costs up to $3,000 and provide rental references for your applications. Option 3. Family purchase. You may purchase the property from me at current market value, $680,000. You must secure your own financing and close within 60 days. Additional terms. All options. No further financial support will be provided beyond the rental discount in Option 1. All communication regarding this property will be conducted via email only for the next 90 days. Any future relationship will be contingent on mutual respect and clear boundaries. I have established a separate education fund, $20,000, for Lily and Noah, managed independently through my attorney. Christopher cannot access this fund. It is for education expenses only. Amanda Fletcher of Fletcher Law Group will handle all documentation. She will contact you within 48 hours to discuss your decision. These terms are final. I will not negotiate. You have 7 days to decide. Isabel. Beverly read the email at 3:47 p.m. She replied immediately. You're tearing this family apart. Isabel replied at 3:49 p.m. I held it together for 8 years. You tore it apart in one night. No further response came. News spreads fast in a small community. Beverly called her church friend Patricia on March 17th. Tried to control the narrative. Isabel has had some kind of breakdown. She's claiming she owns our house. It's all very confusing. We're trying to help her through it. Patricia listened. Sympathetic. But Patricia's daughter worked with Rachel, Isabel's best friend. The truth came out. By March 18th, the church volunteer group knew. Beverly had volunteered there for 12 years. Led the Sunday hospitality team. Everyone knew her. The whispers started. Did you hear about Beverly's daughter? The one who owned the house the whole time. Beverly called her a parasite. In front of the grandkids. Women who used to greet Beverly warmly started nodding politely, distantly. Ken's former colleagues heard too. He'd been a contractor for 40 years in Portland. Everyone knew Ken Carter. Ken always talked about both his kids being successful. Turns out only one was. And she was paying for everything. On March 18th, Chris's ex-wife Vanessa texted Isabel. I heard what happened. I'm so sorry. I wish I'd warned you. Chris did the same thing to me. Took and took until there was nothing left. Good for you for getting out. Isabel saved the text. On March 19th, Isabel's cousin Jessica called. Half the family is talking. Your mom is saying you abandoned them. But Aunt Ruth found the property records online. Everyone knows the truth now. Jessica sent screenshots from the extended family group chat. The one Isabel wasn't in. Uncle Tom. Beverly always favored Chris. Now we know why Isabel stayed quiet. Aunt Ruth. $500,000. That girl paid $500,000, and Beverly called her a parasite. Cousin Michael. I always wondered how Ken and Bev afforded that house. On March 20th, Lily asked Beverly a question. They were making breakfast. Just the two of them. Chris was still asleep. Ken was in the garage. "Grandma, why did we make Aunt Isabel leave? I miss her." Beverly didn't answer. Lily asked again. "Did we do something bad?" Beverly left the room. On March 18th, Isabel's boss at Velocity Pay sent an email. Subject: Take the week. Isabel, heard about your family situation through Rachel. Take the week off. Full pay. We've got you. David. Isabel replied, "Thank you. I'll be back Monday." She met Rachel for coffee that morning. The whole team knew. They'd all worked with Isabel for years. They knew she was brilliant, focused, reliable. They didn't know she'd been carrying her entire family. Rachel hugged her. "I'm proud of you." Isabel smiled, small, real. "I can breathe again." March 21st. A card arrived at Isabel's Seattle apartment, handwritten, from Amanda Fletcher. "I knew this day might come. I'm glad you finally stood up for yourself. The house was always yours. Now your life is too." Isabel put the card on her desk, next to the Cascade Analytics pitch deck. Series A investor meeting, March 23rd. 2 days away. She was ready. March 23rd, 3 p.m. The deadline. Ken sent an email to Amanda Fletcher. Subject: Property at 2851 Oakwood Drive. We choose option 1. Rental agreement. Please send the paperwork. March 24th, 10 a.m. Amanda Fletcher's office, Southeast Portland. Small firm. 2 attorneys. 1 paralegal. Ken and Beverly sat across from Amanda. A standard Oregon residential lease agreement between them. Amanda walked them through it, page by page. Monthly rent, $1,500. Security deposit, $3,000. Lease term, 12 months starting April 1st, 2026. Late fees, maintenance responsibilities, termination clauses. "This is legally binding," Amanda said. Her voice was professional, neutral. "Isabel can evict you for non-payment or lease violations. Do you understand?" Ken nodded. "Yes. Sign here and here. Initial here." Ken's hand shook as he signed. Beverly signed without looking up. Amanda collected the documents. "Security deposit and first month's rent are due by March 31st. You can wire transfer or cashier's check." Ken nodded. They left without saying a word. March 25th. Chris started applying for jobs. Warehouse positions, night shifts, loading docks, anything. He applied to 12 jobs, got 3 callbacks. March 26th. Job interview. Logistics company. Night shift. $18 an hour. March 27th. Job offer. He accepted. Start date: April 8th, 2026. Ken texted Isabel. "We signed the lease. Chris found a job. Thank you for the chance." Isabel didn't respond. March 28th. The lease was officially recorded. By mid-April, the new rhythm had settled. Chris started his warehouse job at 4 a.m. every morning and came home too tired to argue. Beverly began cooking meals again instead of ordering takeout on my credit. Ken quietly fixed the leaky faucet in the upstairs bathroom, the first repair he had paid for in 8 years. I drove down once on Lily's birthday. I left the gift on the porch and was turning to leave when she ran out and hugged my legs. I knelt down, brushed her hair back, and told her I would always be her aunt, just not the one who lived in the smallest room anymore. She nodded like she understood more than a 6-year-old should. When I got back to Seattle that night, I opened my laptop and looked at the latest valuation for Cascade Analytics. $12 million, my 40%. For the first time, the number felt like freedom instead of guilt. Isabel received a copy via email. She filed it, felt nothing. Then, she felt relief. March 30th. Isabel sat at her desk, reviewed her finances. Rent income from parents, $1,500 per month equals $18,000 per year. Her mortgage payment, $3,200 per month, equals $38,400 per year. Net cost to Isabel, $20,400 per year. Before, she was paying the full $38,400 plus $1,500 support equals $56,400 per year. Savings, $36,000 per year. She'd also set up the education fund, $20,000 initial deposit, $200 per month automatic contributions. Managed by Amanda Fletcher. Only for Lily and Noah's education expenses. Chris couldn't touch it. April 1st. The first rent payment arrived. Direct deposit. On time. Isabel met Rachel for coffee. "How do you feel?" "Lighter," Isabel said. "Like I've been carrying something so long I forgot it was heavy, and now it's down." Rachel smiled. "Good." That afternoon, Isabel drove to Portland. One time, she had a birthday gift for Lily. She was turning 7 in 2 weeks. Isabel left the package on the porch. Didn't knock. She turned to leave. The door opened. Lily ran out. "Aunt Isabel!" Isabel turned, hugged her, brief. "Happy early birthday, sweetheart." "Are you coming back?" "Not to live here, but I'll see you sometimes." Lily started crying. Isabel kissed her forehead, left. She drove back to Seattle, checked her email. Cascade Analytics investor. "We're ready to move forward with Series A, 12 million valuation confirmed. Congrats, Isabel." She closed the laptop, looked out the window. The sun was setting over Puget Sound. 2 weeks. That's all it took for everything to change. They called me a parasite. But parasites take. I gave everything. For 8 years, I paid their mortgage. I supported their lives. I carried them. And when I finally stopped, they called it abandonment. But I didn't abandon them. I stopped being invisible. I stopped letting them use me without seeing me. The house is still theirs to live in. I'm not cruel. I'm not vengeful. I just needed them to understand. I was never the burden. I was the foundation. And now? Now they pay rent. They follow rules. They respect boundaries. Not because they want to, because they have to. Chris has a job. For the first time in 3 years, he's working. Maybe he'll grow. Maybe he won't. But it's not my job to fix him anymore. My parents have a home. Below market rate. I didn't have to do that. But I did. Because I still love them. I just don't sacrifice myself for them anymore. And Lily and Noah? They have an education fund. $20,000. It's not their fault their father is who he is. They deserve a chance. Me? I have my life back. I have my company. My apartment. My peace. My self-respect. I don't need revenge. I just needed to stop carrying people who refused to see my weight. They didn't know who I was. They thought I was the failure, the burden, the one who needed them. And when they finally saw the truth, when they saw the property deed, the bank statements, the mortgage payments, all of it, they realized they'd been living in my house, spending my money, surviving on my sacrifice for 8 years. And in one night, they threw it all away. Not me. Them. I didn't tear the family apart. I just stopped holding it together. And that's the difference. The house is mine. The choice is mine. The boundaries are mine. And so is my peace. If you've ever been the one holding everything together while being treated like you're the problem, I see you. If you've ever been called selfish for finally putting yourself first, I understand. And if you've ever walked away from people who loved what you could give them more than who you actually were, you made the right choice. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop. Stop giving. Stop explaining. Stop proving your worth to people who refuse to see it. I stopped, and I finally started living.